say it, but it's not a fair statement to say Keith fights once a year. It's idiotic, to be honest.
Elaborate.
He fights once a year when he's got elbow surgery. So to sit here and tell the man to his face he fights once a year and don't talk about Terrence Crawford, I mean, it's ridiculous. Well, Terrence Crawford doesn't have a resume at 147.
I'm not talking about the resume.
Guys, no,
okay, go ahead, Stephen.
So when you're talking to the guy who's got 2 of the belts, you talk about guys who have resumes fighting them, right? We're talking about, you want that. So when Keith gets when Terrence gets a couple good wins under his belt, he can be mentioned as opponents to a guy who's got 2 of the belts.
I think my question stands separate than the Terrence Crawford issue. I mean, he has 2 belts. I'm in media. I'm also a fan of boxing.
Right.
We want him to unify. You understand what I'm saying?
He's got 2 belts. Right?
He's earned them. He's earned them. He went toe to toe, war for war with Sean Porter, won a great fight of the year.
Right.
Now, all I'm asking as a media member and as a fan,
you might as well ask Mikey when he's going to get a Crawford fight.
Well, 147 is a bigger division.
Right. Terrence Crawford
he has a bigger name.
Terrence Crawford has as many fights at 147 as Mikey has. So why don't you have that conversation too?
Stephen, how's it ever going to be possible to make a Thurman Crawford with obvious promotional potential?
I'm actually not so worried. You're talking 4 or 5 down in the future. There's a dance card full of guys who have fights and have resumes at 147 who are waiting in the wings. There's one guy sitting over here at the next table. So, before we start talking about guys who haven't even had a single fight at 147, fighting this man, we need to address all these guys who've been waiting and building their resume at 147. Who've been waiting to get at him.
Get those numbers up, man. Get them viewers up. You know what I mean? Excite the people. People like you are very excited with the talented fighters in the sport of boxing, but some of us, we still do need to branch out, and I'm still looking forward to touching more people and touching more households and getting more people excited into boxing right now. You know what I mean? That's another thing. We want people to be excited. When these fights actually get made, we want everybody to be salivating. We want y'all to be freaking happy as a dog, happy as a puppy dog. You know what I'm saying? So, like you said, build up the resume, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But like I said, man, it's not going to change. I'm not afraid to let it go. And all I wait for is to see real offers, real fight contracts.
Okay.
Hey, Keith, Jesse Vargas was actually here yesterday. He was awfully vocal about not getting the fight with you as well. I'm just curious, was there ever any talk about potentially fighting him?
We saw his move, so he is a potential one. But, I'm cool with the fight, right? But I've never suffered any, I've suffered injuries. I've never been through a surgery, right? And I've just been advised by my team to not force yourself into anything, right? Beating Jesse Vargas isn't going to prove something brand new in the welterweight division for myself. You know what I'm saying? With his losses over Tim Bradley and Manny Pacquiao, smaller dudes, and he's just now in 147 right now anyway. His fight, in my opinion, I only watched a few rounds and then I went home, saw him winning and not really opening up and trying to get the guy out of there, and he was throwing a lot of jabs when he wasn't landing them, and that guy just has simple pendulum head movement, So, obviously, I saw somebody I could beat, but I was advised to take a different route, and we're just going to do that right now.
He said that you called him a tune-up, though. Is that true?
A possible tune-up.
Yeah, but you referred to him like that's what he is, a tune-up. And that's, I guess, what kind of aggravated him.
So what kind of happened was, they were saying, in the real conversation of whoever I was actually talking to, right? In the real conversation, what happened was they were saying, I was saying, well, possible Mikey Garcia, and I was saying, possible, and they go, well, Mikey's not really a tune-up, and then I just looked down and grinned and said, oh, he's a tune-up for me. You know what I mean? Like I'll handle that. Yeah, I'll handle that any way it comes. So it was, that's the wording that ended up playing out. You know, I mean, it ain't the first time I, you know, talk a little shit or get under fighter's skin or offend them a little bit. That's what
it works.
That's what we do. You know what I mean? You know, welcome to 147. You know, you got work to do, and if you see me, you're gonna fail, boy. You know what I mean? So that's easy. You know,
Mike,
say that every day of the week.
Mike, after fighting at 140,
I mean,
I'm sorry.
It hasn't changed, man. I'm just more into myself. I have so much more confidence into myself. I got here for a reason. I haven't fallen off. So, you know, I'm here for a reason, not a short season. You know what I mean? And I don't know who's gonna beat me. And if somebody beats me, they beat me. You know what I mean? This is boxing, baby. Everybody can lose. You know, anybody can lose. You know, what they say? Football any given Sunday. You know what I mean? But the way I show up, the way I prepare, my IQ, everything I know was when I'm coming into the ring, it's like you fighting a professor, man. You know, so you know, I ain't worried about any of my competition, even the ones that you guys are getting real hype about. I'm not worried. I know who I am as a fighter. I know who I am as a champion. I know many fans love me and love what I bring to the sport of boxing today. It's all about the now. Yesterday is yesterday. Floyd is yesterday. Pacquiao is yesterday. Keith Thurman is now. You know what I'm saying? Mikey Garcia is now. Lomachenko is now. Deontay Wilder is now. You know what I mean? And I'm blessed to be where I am, and I'm gonna hold it down now.
Mikey, that fight you went 12 rounds at 140. Later in the fight, did you have to like dig deeper just because it was a bigger guy? And are you going to train any different for this guy at 140?
When we first entered training for Broner in the summer, we knew we had to prepare a little different because we are fighting a bigger man. Even though he was also 130, 135, but he walks around a lot heavier and naturally he's a bigger man. So we had to train a little different, bigger sparring partners, of course. But the strategy to the fight was to pick up the volume of punches as the rounds went by, just to secure the victory, secure each round. We were never looking for a knockout. If the knockout would come, if I would hurt him, you know, I would try to take advantage. But that was not the goal. The goal was just to make sure that we won every round convincingly, and that's why we had the strategy to pick up the volume of the punches. And if you see the punch count, we just did just that. As the rounds went by, I picked up the volume and made sure that I secured the victory that way. He's very strong, he's very gifted, fast, talented, reflex, defense, he's got it all. So you have to be very careful on
So do you have to do anything different at the same way that you thought you might not have done in training last time?
No, see, right now for this camp, I know I'm fighting a bigger man as well, but strategy is a little different. I'm not fighting Adrian Broner. He doesn't have the same qualities or skill set, but I still have to be on top of my game. I still got to be fast. I still got to be sharp, combinations, and we do train a little different for each fighter. You know, we organize a game plan according to the opponent, but I think I'm well-rounded in different ways. That I make adjustments also inside of the ring in case I need to. I'm fighting.
Francis, do you see